Thank you for joining us. As you learn more about Ford Next Generation Learning Communities, we are happy to help present with Cheryl. Sorry we cannot make it this morning, but we are definitely happy to take any questions or get on a phone call with you. My name is Alex DeBaker. I am the Executive Director of Academies and Transformation for Racine Unified in Racine, Wisconsin, where we have career academies in our three high schools, Racine Park, Racine Case, and Racine Horlick. We have had the career academies for 6 years now, and I was a pathway instructor in manufacturing for 4 years of that 6 years, and I was able to implement career academies within the manufacturing pathway at Academies of Racine at Case High School. Next up, we're going to introduce Terry Jackley.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Terry Jackley, and I am the proud Academies and Transformation Coordinator with Ford NGL Community. We were the 21st Ford NGL Community, so we love that celebration. Before my position here at Central Office, I was the first Academy coach at the Academies of Racine Case, one of our three high schools. And after the implementation, I transitioned to a position down here. Thank you for having me today.
Thanks, Terry. Next up, we have Daryl Burns.
Hello, my name is Daryl Burns Sr., and I'm the proud Deputy Chief of Cluster 3, the high school region. I was a administrator for several years, and just recently I was the administrator at an agricultural school in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and now I'm here in Racine assisting with the academies here. Glad to be here.
Thanks, Daryl. So we're just going to start off with some questions just to give you guys a feel of how it went to implement the academies within the high schools. So first off, we will start off with what brought Racine to the Career Academy model, and I'm going to leave that one up to Terry to lead us off.
Well, the story goes, our superintendent at that time, Dr. Lally Hawes, actually told our second in command, Dr. Gallion, who now is our superintendent, to go find something that would be transformational for our high schools. What could he find that would help our students along with our community in terms of their teaching and learning and their experiences and around college and career readiness? And lo and behold, he came back after visiting the academies of Nashville and said he found it. And from then on, we moved forth with implementation, and that's what brought us here today.
And that leads us right into our next question is, tell me about how the community has engaged in the development, implementation, and sustainability of the academy model. And I'll just start off with saying, I know when we first launched into the career academies, the district was very eager to send stakeholders, community stakeholders, teachers, principals down to Nashville just to see the model in action. And from there's meetings that followed up to start to develop what it looks like in Racine Unified. And I don't know if, Terry, you want to add anything to that?
Well, I think another big piece of that was involving our community members right away. So on our tours, when we went to Nashville, we brought as many community members with us as possible so they could see it at the same time that we saw it, so that we were learning together and trying to figure out how to build this career awareness program that we loved, and actually learning it as a philosophy. So really calling it a transformation with a capital T, because we really wanted to change the way we do high school.
And I think also, if you're thinking about going down this great journey and this great transformation, it's best to bring all stakeholders to the learning and making sure that everyone knows the part in which they play in the development of the academies.
And our community, I think, really bought into it. They saw the value in the development through the sequential courses, the talent pipeline. They could see how it could actually impact the community within a few years. So I think it was an easy sell for them. And to this day, I think they love to be a part of it. And they love to refine what we already have and look at making it better. As far as sustainability with the academy model, That's something that we're still doing to this day. We have a steering committee, we have advisory councils that are running, and we're always looking to stay up to date on curriculum and pathways, and they help us with that. The steering committee and advisory councils are always looking at what industry recognized credentials can we add to our curriculum. Where can we offer more transcripted credit? So it's important that we continue to stay up to date with them, make sure that they feel like they're part of this improvement process, and that's something that helps keep that buy-in.
I think another piece too with our sustainability is we worked with Nashville Hub this past year. And with Nashville Hub, we put together the Academies of Racine guiding principles. And then using those guiding principles, we developed an annual walkthrough tool that we'll actually be implementing for the first time this month. So very, very excited to see what that brings forth and where that offers continuous improvement wherever it be needed. And, a lot of things that we're doing great and doing well and our students are receiving the benefits for.
And with that continuous improvement, it's always that we have to make sure that we know that there are going to be some changes. So there's going to be some pathway modifications. And then doing those pathway modifications and making the school that much better, we can set the foundation for the NCAC accreditation person.
Absolutely. Okay. So what benefits have you seen for our students, and how are they responding? And I can speak to that just from my experience within the career academies and the pathways. Being a manufacturing instructor, one thing we were trying to do as we started to implement the academies is really push for rigor. We looked to insert industry recognized credentials into the pathways because those ensure rigor. Those are benchmarks set by people outside of education and from industry. So it's something that the students really bought into because they knew that when they earn that cert, go on their resume, and now they're marketable, they're hireable, and our students really embraced that, and it helped them. It helped them then earn youth apprenticeships or apprenticeships after high school. So you saw all this starting to take shape as community members started to see what was taking place in the school, business members, and then you saw our youth apprenticeship numbers skyrocket. So right before COVID, we had our best year yet for youth apprenticeships. We had, between the three schools, we had 215 youth apprenticeships. Those are students working within their pathway, earning credit for it, earning funds for it. So it all snowballed, and I think it all started from having that community buy-in.
I also think that as an administrator, and we start to think about curriculums that we want to install into our programs or into our schools, we think about rigor and relevance. We think about, how much rigor it has, how much engaging it is it authentic in our students' learning? And this is a program that definitely helps us make sure that our students are actually engaged and learning. And it makes them feel more a part of something. It's something that might be a part of their future career as well.
Another piece, I'd like to add that our students have greatly expanded their horizons into the terms of what careers are available, and not only available to them anywhere, but within our own community. The careers that are here in Racine to help us build that shortage of skilled workers that we know that we so desperately need, to help us build that talent pipeline. And I think that's not only a benefit to our students, it's also a benefit to our parents, and it certainly is a benefit to our community.
And it helps them start, stay, and succeed right here in Racine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So last question, what challenges are we still working through, and how are we going about that?
I'll start off with one of the challenges that's probably most obvious, and which all of us typically are dealing with, is funding. And so funding is always something that's always a challenge, and you have to really put your money where your mouth is. And so if this is a program or something in which you are really stating that you want for your particular community, you have to make sure that the goals are guided towards the money and the monies are guided towards the goals. So all the things that you need, whether it's coaching, staffing, the resources that you need in order to actually make this work, you definitely have to put forth the effort to kind of get that there. Not saying that it's impossible, but you also have to reach out to community stakeholders as well, universities and all of the different partners in order to kind of make this happen.
I think our biggest challenge is teaching through the lens. Teaching through the lens certainly was not difficult for our CTE pathway teachers, but certainly more difficult for our cores, especially social studies and math, right? How can they connect? How can they bring that academy alive within their classroom? So one of the things that we've done is we've basically relaunched project-based learning. We work diligently with our instructional coaches to put together a model that starts with some baby steps. So our teachers who haven't been comfortable teaching through the lens can be challenged in smaller ways that will continue to build on each other, that will eventually take them to a full project-based learning taking place inside of their classrooms.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we offered teacher externships, which really teachers have really we've gotten great feedback because they actually get to go to an employer and see where their craft can be applied to an actual real world problem. And we've gotten some great feedback. We've gotten some great PBL lessons. So we're continually trying to come up with new ideas on how we can get our staff to teach through the lens of that career pathway. And as we continue to do so, I think that externship is going to be a big piece of it every summer, and we're going to continue to grow that model because we did a very small model this summer and it seemed to be a hit. So that's something that we're going to continue to implement as we continue to improve every day. Anything in addition?
No. All
right. Feel free to reach out to any of us. We'd love to hear from you. And Cheryl will post our contacts. I hope you guys all have a great Friday.
Thank you. Enjoy the conference.